Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the now streaming show beaming from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television, where we challenge perspective to bring you stories anchored on integrity, guided by truth, and viewed through the lens of faith. Tomorrow, residents across Abuja will head to the polls to vote in the area council election, a crucial exercise, I must say, that will shape grassroots leadership and community development. This election will determine who leads the 6 area councils. And when we say 6 area councils, we're looking at Abaji, Abuja Municipal, Buhari, Gwagwalada, Kuje, and Kwali. Positions that directly influence the local infrastructure, primary healthcare, education, support sanitation, and community services. These are all what the leadership who is to come on board and entails to provide for the people. But this morning we would be seeking insight into all of these trending issues, especially as regards to this election, alongside some developing and trending story that arrives this morning and also have been trending for a few days now. I am your uncle Godwin Ujiri, but I am definitely not doing this alone. And with me in the studio this morning to co-anchor the show is...
Good morning, Godwin.
Good morning,
How
Princess.
have you been?
Oh, bless God.
God, it's Friday.
Indeed.
Good morning, viewers. I'm Princess Clement.
All right, our viewers, there you have it. Princess Clement, my co-anchor. And just like she said, thank God, it's Friday. And we're all looking for a very much more engaging weekend to come. Say the election and the rest.
Election, right? We are hopeful.
Indeed. All right, our viewers, we have the Venerable Joseph Unuaya, Director, Civic and Political Affairs, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, and also who doubles as a chaplain to the National Assembly. He is joining us in the studio and would be helping us to do justice on all of the trending and issues that we would be discussing this morning. Venerable, good morning and welcome to Now Streaming.
We are happy to have
Nice
you.
to be here again.
Indeed. All right, viewers, there you have it from our guests, the Venerable Joseph Unoya JP. And we want to urge you to remember that you can be part of the show by calling in the number showing on your screen, and also by sending your comments via our various social media platforms. But first, we would be taking a look at some select newspapers headline that came in this morning. And I will be leaving Princess to take on from there.
All right, thank you very much, Godwin. Let's start with the Punch newspaper. Above the masthead, El-Rufai's lawyer protests home raid amid ICPC detention. You'll find the story on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. The major story says Tinubu's executive order. Federal government, states, local governments allocation may increase by 15 trillion naira. You'll find this big story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And the last we'll be taking on the Punch, it's the major, the picture story. Below the picture story, we have banditry. CDS, Kwara governor rally troops as Operation Savannah Shield begins. On page 8, you will find this big story. And the next paper is New Telegraph. Above the masthead, Vision 2028, CBN plans to develop new payment system. I hope it favors the poor masses. All right, next is the major story. Electoral Law 2026. CSO slam NAS. Tinubu warm off. Grave risks to 2027 polls. Wow. On page 7, NAFDAC seals 18 warehouses over expired food products in Niger State. This is commendable, right, Godwin?
Indeed, indeed,
A
I
lot
must
of
agree
jumps
with
here
that.
and there, and
Yes,
these whole things, our healths are deteriorating here and there. I pray God save us.
amen.
The last story we'll be having on the New Telegraph newspaper is on page 2, 3, and 31. Deadly attacks. Terrorists raid military base in Borno, kill 8 soldiers, injured 23 others. This is so sad. Not again, not again. All right, that is all we have this morning on the pages of the Punch newspaper and New Telegraph. Over to you, Godwin.
All right, thank you so much, Princess. And viewers, we would be considering the Guardian newspaper this morning. And like always, the Guardian is leading with a whole lot of trending story. But I thought most on the front page here, we have how oldest president tighten grip on youngest continent. And this is a big story and can be seen on pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And then on page 30, we have Lakorawa terrorists kill 34 in KB communities. And on page 30, we have U.S. troop deployment. U.S. troop deployment to fight insecurity in national interest. And this is coming from the House of Reps. And also we have on page 7, reps to vote on 1999 Constitution Amendment proposal. And on page 8 also we have civil society organization predicts apathy as FCT polls tests new electoral act, Inec's 2027 readiness. Indeed. And also we have on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper, opposition CSO, which is civil society organization, kicks as electoral act amendments widens 2027 fourth line. And lastly, on the Guardian, there we have a Rivers Assembly suspend impeachment proceedings against Fubara and deputy. This can be seen on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. And also on the Daily Global newspaper, we have the lead story there. Inec set to test 2026 Electoral Act in FCT Council polls, state by elections. And then also we have Nigerian-Kenya relations gain fresh momentum as Honorable Minister of State receives Kenya High Commissioner. You would see the picture story there of the Honorable Minister of State receiving the guests to the Nigerian state there. And also just above the Daily Global masthead there, we have El-Rufai lawyer protests home raid amid ICPC detention. And then lastly, on the Daily Global newspaper, we would be taking this that says massive jubilation as Okpebolo inspects soon to be completed Ramat Park flyover in Benin. And then on a sad note, I would be closing with this that says Nigeria Works panel chief Mpegi dies at 64. And that will be all we will be taking from both the Guardian and the Daily Global newspaper this morning. And so, viewers, as always, we would want to advise you to go get yourself a copy of all the newspaper that we have read out to you and follow through, read through with all of the trending story that are all glaring in the front page of all of these selected dailies for you this morning. And so we would be moving on with the discussion segments as regards all of the issue. For me, each time we get to the non-streaming show and we have an issue on insecurity, I, for one, always want to start with that. And we would be looking at the Lakurawa terrorists who killed 34 persons in KB communities, and also the commendation from the House of Reps as regards to U.S. deployment of troops. Venerable, I would be coming to you now as regards this issue of insecurity. I wouldn't say we are winning the war on terror in Nigeria, given the fact that when we think we have taken 2 steps ahead, it seems as though, as regards the spate of killings, it seems as though this terrorist is dragging the nation back with this incessant bloodbath and everything there is to see. Now we are having the Lakurawa, I think these ones are in the hinterland of KB communities, wasting the life of innocent Nigerians. Do you think that the government, the security of Nigeria are standing tall to meet up with this challenge as it is? Now, when we also look at the U.S. deployments, how fast are we expecting them to react as regards to these issues?
Well, let me start on the point of optimism.
Okay.
We are winning the war. We
Amen.
will win the war if we want to win the war. We have the capacity to win the war if there's political will. I've always said that it's sentiment that gave room for all this, religious sentiment. We saw this thing coming. We waited for it to spread throughout the whole country. And that is why it's difficult. If you remember, about 10 or so years ago, I was saying in this studio, if you allow security to spread in Nigeria, it will take some time to be able to deal with it or control it again. That is exactly what is happening. The country is so vast. The country is big. So, having said that, I believe strongly that we can win the war. I think what I expected from the military generally is that whenever, apart from not being reactionary, when I mean not being reactionary, don't wait till these people strike before you go after them, which of course is the policy of the new Minister of Defense.
Yes, indeed.
Now, apart from that, any act of heinous crime should meet with corresponding reaction. That is what I think we need now. Just exactly as what happened in Gaza. These people, criminal element, went into Israel and killed approximately 1,400 persons. And the Prime Minister said, with this one you have done, when we are through with you, every person will know that you touched Israel and they reacted. And that is what has happened. Almost the whole Gaza have been reduced to rubble. That is what I expect. If criminal element, you say they mobilize from Lake Chad Basin to go and attack a military base and destroy almost everything and kiss 8 soldiers, wounded many, what do you expect? I expect that in the next 1 week, the whole of Lake Chad Basin should be on fire. They should know that these people, they went and attacked Nigeria military base. Both on ground, on air, everywhere, there should be fire. They will not have a place to hide. They should feel it. They should feel it that, yes, they have crossed the line. The same thing that just happened in Kebbi now. Lukurawa, whatever they call them, they have gone there to kill 30-something persons. We expect Nigeria, Air Force, the military, all of them to mobilize. Pursue these people that did this thing, get them, finish them, so that they will not repeat it in Sokoto tomorrow. That is the way to go. It's not a question of whether we can win the war. Do you know how the population of Nigeria? Over 200 million people. What is the population of the terrorists put together? What is the population of terrorists? Forget the fact that they came with sophisticated weapons. Do the terrorists have more money than Nigerians? There are some individuals in this country that can buy all these weapons the terrorists are using. Individuals.
Yes.
Individuals,
Right.
single-handedly.
You're right.
So if we want to win this war, we can win this war. I think it's a high time that Nigeria should begin to think that when they say 32, 34, or so are dead, they are human beings, not chicken. And any person could be a victim. The earlier we realize that, the earlier we will wake up. And when we wake up and there's political will, we have the money to buy the weapons. That is where the issue of the U.S. comes in. Thank God for the wonderful cooperation that is going on now between Nigeria and U.S. I think we can leverage on that to get modern weapons. We can leverage on that to win this very war. I thank God the initial misunderstanding that some confusionists want to bring up has now been put aside. When they were talking about sovereignty, they want to come and take over the country and all those kind of talks. So now they are on ground. We need more of them. We want to have a country that will call Nigeria. We need more of U.S. help. We need more of international help. Anywhere the help can come from. The government, the same way Buhari's government opened his two hands to receive terrorists that are hunting us now. Say, come. Nigeria, door is open. The same way Tinubu's government should open his hands to receive help from where it can come to be able to address this matter.
All right. Thank you so much, Venerable. And we hear you loud and clear, especially both in these pressing matters. But one thing I also got from your speech, you said it is possible.
It's possible.
Especially when there is a political will.
We.
Now, let's ask ourselves this direct question. The body language of this present administration, do you think that it is a pointer to the right kind of political will? Because my reasons for asking this, we have seen issues as regards, take for instance, the incident that happened in Okwama in Delta State that led to the death of just few soldiers, and that whole community was raided. Up till now, some persons are still in detention. I don't think some of them have been released. But we now have not so much of this as regards to this terrorist act in the north. It now seems as though the same military that can show full strength of their might in the south is now looking as though we are not really being decisive as regards to how we deal with this issue in the far north.
No, I've always told you that it's a religious sentiment that made this thing to blossom. Don't sweep that under the carpet. As you are pushing to fight these people, there are people who are pushing openly or in the secret, and that they should not kind of press these people hard because of that religious sentiment. So I want you to understand that. You look at people like Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi keep advocating for these people. Even though he was a trained military man, he served as a military man, and he has put his son in the military today. But he still keep talking, sympathizing, defending these very people. And he's allowed to be roaming freely in the north. Tell me, if it was Unwanya, if it was a bishop, if it was a Catholic priest that was talking like Gumi, will he still be moving freely in Nigeria? That is the religious sentiment that we are talking about. That is the religious sentiment. How much of a condemnation has come from the head of the Islamic Ummah in Nigeria on what is going on?
Indeed.
So the religious sentiment is playing out. But we thank God. Even if everyone may not agree with me on this, we commend Mr. President because he's a Muslim. He's a Muslim.
Indeed.
And this is Muslim ticket. So we commend the government for the little they are able to do now, which was not there before. Yes, I keep saying it. Buhari's regime is what has brought Nigeria to where we are now. So, but this regime of Tinubu, at least you can see, is pushing to push these people back. It's just that they started too late. It's just that there are so much of psychophancy around the corridor of power that try to give different advices that try to slow down the authority. If I don't have doubt anymore whether Tinubu want to actually fight insecurity. I was having a serious doubt when he removed the chief of a defense staff, the CDS. But the way he was reappointed as minister brought my confidence back. And I think, yes, it was strategic. So, and if that one was deliberate, it's a calculated move. I think I give my thumb up for Mr. President on what they are doing. But what they need to do is to do more. By way of funding, they need to do more for the military. In the procurement of equipment, they need to do more. In the deployment of technology, they need to do more. In intelligence gathering, they need to do more. That is what we need to do. So the question of whether we can win the war does not, we can win the war. We can win the war.
All right, thank you very much. Venerable, let me just say this. From what is going on now, I want to ask, why do elections often take priority over citizen safety? Also, how does this pattern affect national unity and public moral lifestyle?
Now, I think the only reason is corruption. The politicians, they see election as a way to grab the national cake and keep it to themselves. So that is why it's taking priority over national security. Is it not the living that we govern? Is it not the living that you see to govern? Why should election take priority? You see, when they want to do just one state election, the way they will roll out security from DSS, from the three arms of the military, from the police, civil defense, this or that, you begin to wonder whether there is a war going on in that state. Can you imagine if the same way they do that, the IG right now deploy 50,000 policemen to Kebbi today because of those 32 people that were killed? I mean, 30-something persons, 32 or 34 that were killed in Kebbi, that was just reported. If IG should deploy 50,000 policemen and say fish out Lukurawa wherever they are and all their associates from that very state, where will they hide? Can you imagine if the Air Force deploy maybe all their jets to face that state, then the military deploy if just 1,000 soldiers to say special squad go and fish those people, where will they hide? But when it comes to election, they will roll this thing out in thousands. So it's misplacement of priority. It shows lack of patriotism on the part of politicians and our so-called leaders. So which one should take priority over the other? It should be security. It should be security.
Okay, on New Telegraph this morning, I was talking about terrorists raid military base in Borno, kill 8 soldiers. Considering the way you made mention of the government needs to empower these people more, the security agency, now looking at it in that perspective, do you think the president alone can fix this whole thing, or our political leaders need to come together to do better than they are doing right now?
The president can fix it. Every matter ends up on his table. the president can declare state of emergency to fix anything he wants to fix. After all, there's no other government that have a good grip over the National Assembly more than this present government. The National Assembly almost does everything they want them to do for them. So they call it collaboration and unity, fine. Why don't we also deploy that one to fighting insecurity? There's no budget for insecurity that the president will present before the National Assembly that Akpabio and his colleague will not approve. So the ball is in the court of the president. Is it equipment? If the president said we need modern equipment to fight these people, and he present the bill, will the National Assembly not approve it? So we cannot take it away from his table. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He is the one who has the power to change the service chiefs and all that and give it to whoever he wants to give it to. So he can do more and he can fix it.
All right. Beyond voting, can civil society, media, and communities demand better governance?
Yes, and I give it to the civil society. They are doing a lot. People like, you see, not since these Chibok girls were taken away, civil society activism against social malady have kind of increased. People like Obieze have done well. People like this Muslim lady, what they call Aisha Yusufu, have done very well. The young man who was a comedian but has taught Peter Aka is doing so well. He's doing so well. So I think other civil society group have been doing so much. And don't forget, that is what CONAC is doing. We are talking day and night as the Church of Nigeria, condemning insecurity, advising government on what to do, challenging them to wake up. That is a civil activism and is going on in the country. I think we can do more, but something is being done by these different organizations.
All right, Venerable, thank you so much for all of your insightful analysis and comments. And I want to believe that our viewers have been following through with all of this discussion and conversation right here in the studio. We want to urge you to keep your calls coming in. Send us your comments and be part of our conversation so that we would follow through with you and have your own thought line as regards all of the burning issues that we are discussing. But before we dive again into another aspect of the now-streaming conversation this morning, we will be taking a short breather, and when we return, we will dive into conversations that surround the election that we are having for tomorrow. So please stay tuned, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back, viewers. If you are just joining us, you are still on the ACNNTV now streaming show, beaming live from our studios here in Abuja. And we have been looking at several national issues that range from insecurity. And right about now, we would be diving into the election issues that we are having in the Federal Capital Territory tomorrow. And I trust that those of us in Abuja will be doing well to join all other electorates to vote for their party of choice, the candidate of choice that would ensure that we get the dividends of the democracy that we claim we are presently having. And with us in the studio that have been doing justice to this issue is no other person but the Venerable Joseph Unoya, who is the Director of Civic and Political Affairs, Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, and also the chaplain to the National Assembly. Venerable, Thank you so much for being so insightful on the show today. And
Thank you so much.
all right, and also with me has been Michael and co in person of Princess Clement. Princess,
Thank you, Godwin.
all
You are
right.
doing well.
So we'll be diving into the other aspect of our conversation this morning, and we would be looking at the FCT election, and these are cut across the 6th area council of the Federal Capital Territory. And when I say that, I mean the likes of Abaji, the Abuja Municipal Area Council, which is AMAC. We're talking about Buhari, we're talking about Gwagwalada, we're talking about Kuje, we're talking about Kwali, and all of this political space within the Federal Capital Territory directly influence the local infrastructure as regards to primary health care, education, sanitation, and community service. In fact, let me put it this way. These are the area councils that makes Abuja what it is. So I tell you, whatsoever happens within the grassroots governance affects even the federal structure as it would be said to be in the federal capital. So I tell you, tomorrow, when this election will be conducted, it holds dear to the livelihood of the persons living in all of this area. So please, we want to urge you to call in, send in your comment, keep the conversations on, all surrounding the election that we would be having tomorrow. So please stay tuned. Venerable, tomorrow is the 6th area council's election, and we know that so much is expected of the people, so much is expected of the government, so much is expected of the electoral umpire, which is Inec, as regards to this election. And I think in one of our papers, CSOs are predicting electoral apathy, especially as regards to residents of the Federal Capital Territory. Now, let us try and test the preparedness across board, from the electorate, the umpires, and the rest. How prepared do you think we are?
I think the umpire are prepared, as far as I know, except if there's a deliberate sabotage from any quarters. Otherwise, they are fully prepared for the election tomorrow. Well, for the electorate, there have always been apathy in FCT, and we don't know why. We discovered that most of the elections, especially area council elections, you don't even know who is the local government, who are the local government chairmen, testing and all that. But we need to appeal to citizens, whether you like it or not. Who is sitting on that seat of governance will determine what happens to you and what happens to your children and their future. So we want to advise against apathy. Tomorrow people should go out and they try to cast their vote.
All right, thank you so much. This election is like a litmus test for the umpire, which is Inec. And it is coming at a time where so much is presently surrounding the polity as regards to amendment of electoral acts and a whole lot of it, all the stuff happening within the National Assembly. Now, do you think all of these happenings, all of these advocacies from the CSOs, from political advocates like the likes of Peter that we spoke of here, and all others that are championing the cause for real-time transmission, do you think it is going to affect the way this election is presently going to be conducted?
Certainly, if a thief knows that there are CCTV camera around, he will be more careful.
Very good.
He will be not as audacious as it's supposed to be. If a thief knows that there are some, special dogs, they call them, in the compound, they will not want to jump into the compound anyhow. So that is how it's going to, all these advocacies and election observers that will be in the field, and everyone will work together for the good of the election. So there's no way it's not going to have serious impact because people know that Nigerians are more aware and people are watching out for things.
All right, thank you so much. And just to ask you this, because we know that you are the coordinator for CONAC, and we see all what they have been doing in previous elections. And this is an outfit that is solely funded, I think, by the Church of Nigeria.
Yeah.
And you and your team have been doing so much. And now this is what I'll call another election cycle. We all saw what transpired in 2023. And there is so much to be done presently to reassure and to rebuild the confidence of voters, especially when we talk about election rigging. So, as a coordinator of CONAC here, I now want to ask, what are those short things, because you've been in the forefront for advocacy and a whole lot, to ensure, to reassure people that rigging would not take place, neither will it be tolerated in this FCT election. How should we build the people's consciousness to this fact?
Well, we the civil society organization have done our best pushing for free and fair election. The civil society have done her best even pushing for the new electoral act and the reform that has just taken place and on that. So it is on the part of the people to go out and do their own thing. There's a kind of a short drama, will I call it a drama, very funny, that was sent to me by somebody yesterday. Somebody was coming with a bag, and the person was coming from this direction, picked the bag from him. By the time he wanted to turn, he has already thrown the bag to the person coming from the opposite direction.
I think I've
the
watched
bag
it.
was going, and that one threw it to the bag. So the man looked around, didn't see his bag, he was confused. Then the person sent it to me and said, whether real-time electronic transmission or not, this is how elections will continue to be in Nigeria. It was funny, but very instructive.
Touchy.
What he's saying is that Nigeria have perfected themselves in the art of corruption, and it will take the grace of God for us to have perfect election. But that should not mean we should just sit down at home. We should not do the need.
Okay.
We should vote. We should protect our vote by making sure we open our eyes to see what is going on. I expect that people should go out, do your own part. In fact, if you have not played your own part, you have no moral ground to stand on to begin to criticize what is not done well.
Right.
That's what I have to say in that.
So, as a civil society advocate now, what are those key steps you think people should watch out for to prevent rigging during election?
Okay. We did some training as CONAC for some party agents across party line on behalf of Inec, and so I want to just quickly take us through these steps. It's not just for party agents alone. It's for every person. We should know what to watch out for. I titled the prevention of election rigging at your polling unit. Number one, show up early on election day. It will give you opportunity to observe what we call the setting up. If you show up early, if you don't show up early, you come late, things would have gone under, water would have gone under the bridge, and you will not.
It will be described as the more you look, the less you see.
That time you cannot see anything. Number two, as you were just saying, I say shine your eyes before accreditation to ensure that Bvas have zero figure before accreditation begin. Yes, you have the right to see it, especially the party agents and the observers, and make sure that nothing is written in any of the resource sheet. The act requires that you show it to the election observer and the party agents. Then three, remain in the polling unit throughout to observe everything, because leaving your station at some point will give room for manipulation. Those days we used to advocate for roving. Roving means election observer or agents moving from one polling unit to the other. No. Stay in one spot, watch the process from the beginning to the end. Then monitor the ballot counting process and ensure that the results are recorded in what we call the original form EC8A. You must ensure that it is written, you are there, that it is written. Make sure the election officer take the photograph of that written result with Bvas only. Don't allow election officer to use phone to take the picture of the written result. That one will not be transmitted to IREF.
Okay.
But if he takes it with Bvas, it's automatic.
I think we witnessed that during the last election.
The last election.
Yes.
Then once the picture of the election result are taken with the Bvas, watch closely to ensure that the presiding officer upload and the result to the Inec election result viewing portal, which they call the IREF. It's possible to snap photograph and it's not uploaded. So the observers, the party agent must ensure that. Then when there is no network to upload immediately, there is possibility.
Indeed.
Technology can have problem. Network can cease. We all know that.
Yeah.
Then agents, that is party agents and observers, are encouraged to follow the officer to a place where there will be network.
Okay.
To upload
Okay.
it. Don't leave him alone. Say there's no network and tell you I'm going to the collation center. Please follow him to ensure no foul play, to make sure that that thing is transmitted electronically. Then ensure that the INEC officer posts the result of the polling unit in that very polling unit in a very conspicuous place. That written something that is snapped at the end of the day, a copy must be posted so that every person can see it. Then the party agent can snap that very election something so that apart from the one that is transmitted, you have something as a backup in your phone. All party agents are expected to sign the written result sheet. Don't hurry away. Make sure you sign on it. That is what we authenticate that particular result sheet for the purpose of collation. So once you do that, if possible, follow or accompany the result to the ward collation center. From the ward collation center, follow it to the area council collation center to make sure the process of collation is witnessed all through. Then, of course, we expect that internet is very good now. Let every voter, every party agent try to read up about the new electoral act and on these processes so that it will be at your fingertip. That is one of the best way to prevent election rigging. Now, may I say this on security concern? You know, the terminology defend your vote came up during Buhari's time, and people thought that defend your vote is go there and fight. No, you don't need to go there to fight physically. The way you defend your vote is to follow this procedure. Make sure the officials are made to follow the procedure one step after the other. That is how you protect your vote. And may I say that life have no duplicate.
Indeed.
Your life is precious. And so while you are in polling booth and all that, be mindful of the desperation of your opponent. And also know that don't underestimate the level of violence people can unleash on other people. So you have to be security conscious. I put it here, you should shine your eyes to be sure that there are no dangerous weapons. When people come to the police center, both observers, party agents should ensure that no one is there with pistol, with gun, with machete, that if you see such things, report it promptly to the appropriate authorities. The policemen will be there. Then make sure that your phone is used wisely. Even when we say you have the right to snap photograph and all that, when there is crisis, that is not the time you carry your phone like this and start recording. You may be the first victim. You should be able to record things discreetly. As an observer, I've recorded so many things over the years. I can hold my phone like this, fold hand, as if you think that I'm just watching. You will not know that my phone is recording.
Absolutely.
Yes. So these are some things we should do to ensure that we defend our vote and we have evidence for adjudication if there's any need for any person to go to court.
Okay,
right.
thank you very much, Venerable. Thank you for walking Nigerians through the polling unit process step by step. It's very helpful, I must commend. Away from that now, we know that vote buying often happens openly at polling units. It's no longer in news. Why does it persist? And who is supposed to stop it?
Now, the level of poverty in Nigeria is what is fueling vote buying and the corruption of politicians. The politicians have the money and they feel that they can buy the conscience of the electorate and they go ahead to offer. But it is the level of poverty. No matter what you do today, you cannot approach me with 20,000 naira to say, take this 20,000 naira and vote for me. I will ask you, you mean that? Is that an embarrassment? What do you take me for? But can you imagine the number of Nigerians that 20,000 naira is like a whole world for them?
They will jubilate.
They will jubilate and take it and do the wrong thing. So that is poverty. And the politicians are weaponizing that poverty. They make sure the majority are poor or remain poor so that they can easily manipulate them. So that is, but we have to encourage people to maintain their integrity and to don't forget when you sell your vote for just 10,000 naira, you are going to suffer it for the next 4 years, thereabout.
All right.
I love the aspect where he said that voters should please do it for their own good. Meanwhile, there is this story about doctors praying for people to fall sick so that they can have their job upcoming. And also the people like those that build coffins, they always pray too for people to die. So in this case, the politicians are praying for Nigerians to remain poor so that they can give the little what they call it, is it bribery now, something, this token they give to Nigerians. We are growing beyond that. We don't need your 10,000, we don't need your 20,000, we don't need even your 50,000. Those bag of rice, I saw that in the news recently that they were sharing bags of rice here and there. We don't need all those. We want a comfortable life like you are enjoying with your family. I want to have my own private jet.
All right,
Godwin, how about you?
All right, viewers, you had it for Michael and Co-Princess Day, but we are pressed for time, and so we would dive into another much pressing concerns here. Venerable, this is of utmost concern, I think, not just to me, but to our viewers. We're looking towards an election for tomorrow, and it is clear that across party lines, people, let's say candidates of an opposition party, is presently stepping down for another candidate who is believed to be in the ruling party, APC, after, in quotes, Wike's intervention. Wike happens to be the FCT minister. And in a way, from observation and from what the trendings and the headlines are picking up, it's obvious that there is an undue intervention, an undue, for lack of better words, let me use intervention, on the process. Do you still think that this can assure free and fair election on that day? We understand that there is a place for peace, but where people are no longer dare to see candidate of their choice because they have selfishly stepped down not to allow for any opposition, is this still going to be called a democracy or a democratic process in the whole campaign thing?
Well, politics is full of manipulations and full of intrigues, full of lobbying and things like that. It is for the electorate and the citizens to know that this act of politicking is so important and it has direct bearing to what happens to them and their generation to come. and resist any form of a temptation that will come. Let me start on the issues of the party flag bearers that are stepping down. What do you make of a PDP flag bearer stepping down for an APC person on the eve of election? What kind of confusion is that? It shows indiscipline. You know, that is the same thing that happens even when they win election. In the process of governance, they start stepping down and joining, crossing carpet to the political party they feel we have upper hand just to secure their future. It means, it shows selfishness on the part of our politicians. For the person that stepped down, no matter the reason he's giving, say he cannot be fighting with his own brother or whatever. What are you talking about? You have just betrayed all the members of your political party who gave you their mandate to represent them, to be their flag bearer. That's what you have just done. And we know, no matter what you come and tell us, we know that money must have exchanged hand at the backyard. So for the FCT minister you mentioned, he's a politician. He will want to have it all. If possible, you want APC to win all the local government, the area council seats. So, what do you expect? He will lobby. He will influence. I think the earlier political parties put their feet down and really school or their followers on what we call party ideology, and make them to believe in it. Until we do that, things will not change positively in this country. There are some countries where some politicians, even if you want to kill them, they are ready to die for their party ideology. They have their belief, how they feel government should be run, how they feel their nation should be liberated. They hold on to it till they die. They will never sell out. But Nigeria, there's no people who hold on to party ideology. You are in PDP today. Tomorrow, you are in APC. That's what we see. So everyone is just hustling for money and not really concerned about what is my party ideology. That is why somebody can easily step down for a candidate of another political party on the eve of election.
All right, Venerable, thank you so much. We are pressed for time, but just to ask you this and also take it as your last word on the show before I come to Michael Uncle. I just want to know, because you've said so much and it begins to brew so many things in my heart. Is this not a calculative strategy by the opposition to plant those I will call stooges in other political party, and just to destabilize them to the point that at the eve of an election, you will find opposition candidates stepping down?
Yeah.
Is this not calculated? Is this not deliberate?
Don't forget, I said in politics there's a lot of manipulation. If you are smart enough to outwit your enemy, it's part of the game. These are realities. From what you are saying, it is possible for APC to give money to our sister here to say, go and feed yourself as the candidate for PDP. Give you money to run it and you get the ticket. And the arrangement is that a day to election, you step down for APC candidate and throw that party into confusion. That is political maneuvering. It's manipulation.
It is allowed.
It's manipulation. It's for members of other political parties to wake up and be smart. And people should know what they believe in, know what they want, and work towards it. But the irony is that majority of Nigerians are looking for money. They're after money. And the level of corruption in the country is fueling that. Until I said it, I think last time I came to this studio, until there's a serious national reorientation of our values, a change of our values, things like this will continue to happen.
All right. Thank you so much, Princess.
All right, thank you, Godwin. To Nigerians, I will say small money will only solve today's hunger. Good leadership will solve our future problems. Do not sell your conscience. Vote rightly. Vote for the sake of better tomorrow, better sleep, better life. Thank you so much for watching.
All right, thank you so much, Princess.
Don't forget, election will start by 8 a.m.
Indeed.
So by 7:30, party agents, election observers, electorate should please be at the polling unit. And make sure you vote. Make sure you do not sell your vote. And the party agents, open your eyes. Make sure that all the recordings that need to be recorded is properly taken, so that you can guarantee that what transpired there is really real, and that is what will be used for collation. Don't fight. The election of any person is not worth your blood.
At all.
So don't fight. If there is violence, find your way home.
Yes.
Your life is more precious. Your life is more precious. Then for those who want to act as thug, don't forget the people you are fighting for, their children are in good school in US, in UK, and in Canada.
Where is the life?
And they are enjoying life. In
That
fact,
is it.
some of them, their wives and their children have been asked to go to overseas to relax until everything cools down, election is done. So why should you go and fight and kill yourself for such people?
All right, thank you so much, venerable viewers. You have heard it, and there's no better way to draw the curtain on today's edition on the Now Streaming. We want to urge you to please remember, just as Venerable Noya have said, that Inec have confirmed that voting begins at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and only, I repeat again, only registered voters with valid permanent voters card will be accredited using the Bvas system. Security agencies have assured residents of adequate deployment to maintain peace and order before, during, and after the election. If you are voting tomorrow, I urge you to please locate your polling units early, go with your PVC, follow electoral guidelines, and remain peaceful. Viewers, this would be the size of our package today. Remember, always remember that you have made this show possible because you stayed glued to your TV station. I want to thank our wonderful guest in person of Venerable Joseph Unoaya JP.
Thank you.
Who is the Director of Civic and Political Affairs, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, and also the chaplain to the National Assembly. Viewers, also my wonderful co-anchor.
Thank you, Godwin.
All right, thank you so much.
It's always a delight.
Indeed, Princess, indeed. And thank God it's Friday once more.
It's Friday.
And I believe you have so
Clap it.
much. Viewers, that is coming from my wonderful co-anchor, Princess Clement there. And we want to urge you that you remember to always get more of our programs via various social media platforms and by staying tuned to this station. So we'll come your way again with other interesting topics, same time, same station on Monday. Do have yourselves a great weekend ahead. And please do remember to go cast your vote tomorrow. I am Godwin Ujiri, and bye for now.
My name is Bishop Paul Donison, and I serve as General Secretary of GAFCON, the Global Anglican Future Conference, a fellowship of confessing Anglicans committed to the authority of Scripture and the gospel of Jesus Christ. From March 3rd to 6th in Abuja, Nigeria, more than 400 primates, archbishops, bishops, clergy, and lay leaders from across the biblically orthodox Anglican world will gather for G26. This is the conference that the Martyrs' Day statement of October 16, 2025 pointed towards. That statement was not the final word. It was a prophetic call to action. It declared that the future has arrived, but it also said that the church must now meet, pray, discern, and chart the way forward together. G26 is that moment. It feels in many ways like the early days of Jerusalem in 2008, when Anglicans first gathered under the banner of the Jerusalem Declaration to say that our communion must be reordered around the unchanging Word of God. For nearly 2 decades, we have prayed for repentance. Repentance from revisionist leadership who have abandoned biblical authority. Sadly, that repentance has not come. As the Apostle Paul warns us in 2 Timothy 3:13, some have gone from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived. We've always said reform begins on our knees. The reset of the Anglican Communion began in earnest in 2008. It has been renewed at every gathering since, and now, in God's providence, it appears that this moment, this Kairos moment, has arrived. Choose this day whom you will serve. Joshua 24, verse 15. In Abuja, we will not simply listen to speeches and disperse. As we model at G25 in Plano, after each plenary session, all participants, bishops, clergy, laity, will gather in collaborative groups, praying, discussing, discerning together, submitting their reflections so that the final statement that emerges is not the product of a few, but the fruit of a global conciliar movement. This is what a truly global Anglican communion looks like. Not colonial, not personality-driven, not defined by failed instruments, but conciliar, confessional, collaborative, centered on Scripture. We do not suggest that everything is settled. There is much to iron out, much to discern, much to structure carefully and faithfully, but we will do that work together. This is not the birth of a new communion. This is the same communion, reordered as a truly global Anglican communion. A global church needs global leadership, and so I want to speak for a moment directly to leaders across the Anglican world. If you've not yet made plans to attend G26, now is the time. Sign the Jerusalem Declaration. Be in the room. Be part of this council. Help shape the future as we live into the promise to urgently reset and reorder our beloved communion. And to the wider Christian world, pray. We need extraordinary prayer. Pray for humility. Pray for courage. Pray for unity and truth. Pray that the Lord would guard us from pride and fear. Pray that the gospel would be advanced. Pray that the Lord would be glorified in all of this. And give. Give so that everyone who wants to be present can be present. Participate. Sign the Jerusalem Declaration. Stand with a fellowship that believes in the words of Isaiah 40, verse 8, that the word of our God will stand forever. The world is watching, and by God's grace, the candle lit in Jerusalem in 2008 still burns. We now gather in Abuja. Pray, give, participate, walk with us. Visit gafcon.org and stand with the global Anglican Communion. The future has arrived.